All right, welcome back to the Knives Fast channel, guys. It is time for a video on a knife that I've actually not really wanted to do a video on. So thank you and welcome back to the Knives Fast channel, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, stick around. Thank you, each and every one of you. Check me out on Instagram and stick around for a live stream on Monday nights. So this is the Benchmade Narrows, guys. I first saw this at Blade Show 2023, Atlanta. And, a really interesting knife that has caused a lot of, I would actually say, controversy. I usually try to stay away from that word. How about hubbub? Is that better? I try to stay away from that word because I don't want to be the one causing controversy. But this is a $522 knife, guys. So what we're going to do today is we're not going to review this knife. I want to get it turned around and on to the next guy in the Apex pass around. Now, what's funny is I think I signed up for this in mid-July or something, and I'm just getting it. So it's not as relevant as it was when I signed up for it in the pass around group. But what I want to do is I want to do a video called, I want to do a video about, first of all, some comparisons of it, like I told you, and what I think might be better choices than it for me, and why it is for you and why it might not be for you, okay? And that's what we're going to do. Now, let's just start by telling you about it. It is a M390, tiny, thin, crazy knife. This is utterly the thinnest full-size knife I have ever seen. It has a loop-over short blue clip with blue hardware, blue pivot. You have an axis lock with a very small actuator there of your bar. You do have a lanyard slot here. It is just a thin knife. And the way I would describe this knife, the same way I described it after I saw it at Blade Show, was it's a knife that they forgot to put the scales on. That's just my opinion. It is utterly thin. And for me, a person who ergos come first for, it does not feel good in the hand. It is a full 4-finger knife. It just does not feel good to me. It doesn't. Now, if we'll talk about this in a minute, but if you're somebody that doesn't ever work with their knife and you're just using it, maybe to show folks, and you want an utterly thin knife and a lightweight knife, which we'll talk about that in a minute, then this might be for you. Now, it is running on washers, of course, because it's so thin. It has decent action. Again, like most axis locks, it can be a little sluggish, but not bad. And the blade, now, there's the thing. Did you just see that? Okay, 3 times now, when I have been fidgeting with this knife, that axis lock has stuck. Oh, come on, do it again. Did it? Yeah, look, see. Blade is free. See that? And now it locked. Yeah, no. Okay, no. So, now, it is a great drop point blade. Very thin M390, and it is a cutter. And this has been around to like 10 channels, guys. I don't know how much cutting those guys have been doing, but it is a fantastic cutter. And I think this is Zach Stuff's knife, so I'm not going to beat it up or anything, but I like to cut with knives, and that's what you just saw. Cuts really well. So, let's go through some of my list here, okay? I'm not going to go through the whole thing. So what are reasons why somebody might, let me just wipe the blade a little bit, want the Benchmade Narrows, okay? Number one, you are a Benchmade person. You just love Benchmade and you want every Benchmade, then you should probably go get this knife. If you want it made in the USA, which, by the way, our 2 comparisons are options that are somewhat similar to this, that are also made in the USA. But if you're a USA-only person, then this might be a knife for you. If you absolutely have plenty of money and money does not matter to you, then this might be the knife for you. If you must have lightweight and you must have thin and ergos don't matter as much, this knife might be for you, okay? If you do light cutting, this might be for you. And I know some of you are going to say I'm gone too far here, but that's fine. If you don't care how a knife looks. I feel like, guys, it's not just it needs scales for it to feel good in my hand. I just feel like the knife isn't finished. This feels like I'm looking at the liner or the frame and it missing something. It's not done. Now, the finish up here on the blade is gorgeous. I love it. It is M390 if I didn't say that. All right, so now why might this not be for you? Why the Narrows might not be for you, okay? Ergos do matter. You want a knife to not feel like it's jabbing you. When you bear down, this sucker is so thin, it just doesn't feel good. You do want a work knife. I don't feel like it would, because of the ergo thing, it's not going to feel good. You're going to have hot spots after working with them. You do like a finished look. You're good with any USA company. It doesn't have to be Benchmade, okay? Price does matter. And again, we're about to show you two comparisons that will fix that. And you still want it thin, okay? So here we go. Let's see what we've got. By the way, real quick, these are not the comparisons I was just talking about. But just because we always do it, there's the Rat 1 and there is the Rat 2, okay? We always do that, so we will do that. Now, wait, one more thing real quick. Before, two more things. Number one, I'm going to show you there is a lot of blade play. Up and down and side to side. And I don't know if that's because it just needs to be tightened or what, but there is blade play. And we're not just talking about bending of the blade because of thinness. I feel it moving in there, okay? And, you know, it's inconsistent. That is weird to me. Sometimes it's there, and sometimes, yeah, it's still there, but it's you know, it's just weird. So that is interesting. All right. Now, let's get our specs if I can find what I just did with my phone. Are you kidding me? It just literally... Oh, I covered it up with my notebook. That's what I did. Okay. I'm doing really good. This is going to be a long video, by the way. It's 8.2 inches. The cutting length is 3.25 and the blade length is 3.44. It is 0.08 on the thickness, okay? You guys know that is fantastic. Blade thickness, by the way. 4.58 inch handle, and this guy is 2.41 ounces. And it's running on bearings. So those of you yelling at me a couple minutes ago, it's apparently on bearings. So I apologize for the screw up. And then the handle thickness is just 0.28. Craziness. Okay, so let's get out our two comparison knives. You guys ready for this? Because I know I am. So the two, and both of these are USA made, and both of these are under $300, $522, okay? This is the ZT0545 made with Magna Cut steel in the US, okay? Awesome knife. You got carbon fiber and titanium with, by the way, heavy chamfers, still very thin blade stock. And this guy is 2.5 ounces and $272, okay? Next is the TRM Atom. Now, in fairness, the Atom is one you got to be patient to get. I get it. It's not readily available, but there is a G10 version of this right now that is 3 ounces, so a little bit heavier than both, and it's $210. $210, guys. And I think these were like under $300 if I remember correctly. Now, they don't make the G-Carta scales like this anymore, but, you know, G10, other micartas I think can still be had under $300, and you still get a very thin. Now, I think this is 0.11, and if I remember correctly, this is 0.09. Let's put them all three together blade thickness wise. Now, you can see the thickest, which is crazy to me, is the TRM Atom. The Atom has always been known as incredibly thin, and it still is, but you can see the Narrows is very thin in the blade, as is the 0545. Now, what you get in these two is you get, again, a full handle with chamfering, and on this one, same thing, full flat with chamfering. Now, the Atom is also the thickest handle, okay? So you can see there, it's still well under a half an inch, and, you know, nice. It fills up your hand. It's tall, feels really good. All right, let's close the Atom. And then the 0545, again, full 4-finger grip, very, very, very thin. I want to say this one was like maybe 0.38 or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have it right in front of me. But to me, it just feels and looks like a more finished knife at $272 versus $522. Now, I know there are going to be people that are not going to like this video, and that is fine. I'm doing videos to show people what I think. If you don't like my opinion, I apologize for that. I'm sorry, but there are probably other channels that you like better, and you know, that is absolutely fine. But for me, price does matter, and for me, comfort and ergos do matter, and so that's why, knowing that these two opportunities right here, by the way, there's others. You could look at the Maverick, which is a little thicker, from Tactile Knife Company. There are other USA-made options that are less expensive and feel better in the hand than the Narrows. So all I can say is good job by Benchmade for coming up with something different. It is made well, but it's definitely not for me. And again, it's because there are other viable options at extremely lower prices, okay? And the best, in my opinion, the best comparison is the 0545. They are actually very, look, let's just do this, okay? So look at this thickness. Now, it is quite thinner, but it is exactly what I was saying. It's as if, you know, scale has been added, a scale and a chamfer. So adding the chamfer gave you that little extra thickness. They are not that much different. Here is a full side-by-side of the two. And you can see very similar shaped blades. MagnaCut versus M390. Great knives, both of them. But for me, for $272, my money would go over here on the ZT0545. Or again, the TRM Atom is an option as well. So tell me what you guys think down below. I'm sure I'm not making myself super popular, but that's not why I'm doing this channel. I'm doing the channel to share my thoughts, so maybe you guys have a better idea of what knife might suit you based on what suits me. So hopefully this video has done that. And I'm really glad I got to check the Narrows out and play with it more than just at Blade Show. I did have some opportunity to kind of, you know, and that's the other thing, guys. I am not super good at hitting these studs every time because they're so small. You know, so I miss sometimes. I don't do great sometimes with it, but they did that to keep it thin. I mean, it is super thin. It is incredibly thin. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you for watching the channel. Make sure you have liked, commented, subscribed, and hit that notification bell. And thank you for watching the Knives Fast channel.